Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday
Morning.
or Sunday or afternoon,
Oh,
evening.
yes.
It's just Greg and I this morning because Max was feeling under the weather. She caught
Poor Mags.
something. She says she's lingering. She says she's lurking. So she might
Oh,
say something in the chat.
you're here somewhere, eh? Okay.
Lurking in the background, watching us.
Yes.
So let's
Yeah.
see who's here. Betsy, looks like Betsy was the first one in. Oh,
Yes.
Shelley was
Bright and
also
early.
9:30. I was working on my coffee at that time. And my mom is here,
Yeah, I got
Susan,
mine. Mm-hmm.
and let's see,
Your mom.
Janine. I was reading as I was scrolling. Everybody was there chatting away. Uh, there, Susan, Janine, and Betsy were just chatting away this morning before we got in.
Did you say
That's
Shelley too?
Susie,
Dr. Shelley?
Chris, and Lisa. Look, there's Mags.
Is Mags here?
Yep, there she is. Saying Chris is
Chris
creepy.
is creepy. Oh. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Mm.
Because Chris responded that, Mag's lurking in the background is not creepy at all.
No. Probably eating blueberry pie. I hear it has restorative properties, so that would be a good thing.
Yeah, blueberries are good for you. Oh, Chris, you're not creepy.
Antioxidants.
The sickness is getting to Mag's head. Don't let it offend you. So I'm going to be doing Mag's segment of Question of the Week. And there are a lot of responses. There were 143. If any of you had answered it, you're gonna let me know so I can go find it, because I'm gonna go probably through the first page or so, and I didn't go through all of them. I wasn't as prepared as Mags, so just let me know. I'll go ahead and start. And
Okay.
I know,
And what
Mags,
was
it's
the
a lot.
question?
You're missing out. 143 responses to the question of the week. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, and also, if anybody wants to answer it now in the chat, you're more than welcome.
You won't know.
The question is, has something been named after someone in your family?
Right.
Oh, a whole bunch of people. So apparently this top one here, somebody marked it as the best answer. Doug. In my family, there's Price Settlement in New Brunswick for my paternal grandfather's mother's side. In my wife's family, there's a subspecies of screech owl. It was named after her great-great-grandfather's second wife. I wonder if she screached. And
that doesn't sound like
an Boulder.
Unless you're a botanist or something like that, or like a biologist.
Well, then Sally here took a different spin on it. Yes, I am named after both my grandmother's first names. I'm named after my grandmother, so say that. Well, we had a full list here from Shonda Feather. So William Louis Herndon has 3 things named after him. I guess he was in it says he was the wife of President Chester Arthur. The father of Ellen Lewis. So the grandfather of the wife? And she's related to him. So the Herndon Monument at the U.S. Naval Academy, 2 Navy ships, and the towns of in Virginia and Pennsylvania. And then apparently the 4th cousin, 5th times removed, a law partner of President Abraham Lincoln.
That's cool.
And then her 6th great-grandfather, John Woolman II, named an institute at Wilmington College, another school founded in Nevada, California, and a memorial association was formed in Mount Holly to promote his teachings. Very cool. Oh, look, a place in Antarctica, Seward Rocks. That's really cool. are named for my cousin Alan William Soward. Let's look at this. Did he
Yeah.
go to Antarctica?
Let's
See.
see.
Oh, look, Alan was a telephonist in the PMG's department. He served at Mawson, Antarctica in 1959 and again in 1966, for which he received Antarctic Surface medallions. That's pretty cool. Then he had some rocks named after him.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Very cool.
The road I live on was named for my husband's family. There is a Woodward Avenue by Nancy Woodward, named after my husband's family in Warrensburg, New York. Has anybody said anything in the chat, Greg? I can't see.
Oh, I zoomed in so I could.
See if I need to go. See if I need to go search.
Let's see. Sorry, I should have been looking at that. Chris said that there was a winery that has one of his mother's family's names on it. People talking about lemon scones and someone said there was named after a character from Game of Thrones. Oh wait, no, that's not right. That was Chris. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
So here's one by Dorothy. Oh, go ahead.
Susan Anderson. The closest I came to something named after my family is Logston Valley near Munfordville, Kentucky.
Okay. Yeah, keep going. Keep sending your responses in the chat if you want to answer.
Okay.
So Dorothy O'Hare.
She answered, so she's going to answer there somewhere.
Who?
Lisa Gervais.
Okay. Oh, let's go through many. Maybe that's a. Oh, look, here she is. Perfect. I didn't have to go far.
Yay, perfect timing.
So she's named after 4 people. My maiden name is Lisa Ida Kathleen Macklem. I was named after both grandmothers, Ida Macklem and Kate or Kathleen Welburn Suave Smith. My grandmother Ida also had a first cousin Kathleen, who was one of my godparents, while my grandmother Kate had a younger sister named Ida. So you're just a mishmash of a whole bunch of relatives in your name. Look, Joyce. She even posted a picture. Nice. It looks like someone's driveway, but one day I noticed a street sign for Learned Lane. Had there been a school where people learned there? Then I learned that it had been named for a prominent Learned family who also spelled their name Larned. Huh. That's very fun. Neat. Robb Neff named a couple of towns where his family was named Temvik, North Dakota, Broadwell, Ohio, Broadwell, Illinois, Bean Settlement, West Virginia. Look, Janine. So Janine has a few. Denton County, who is named after John Denton, her 4th cousin 5 times removed. There's a Goodson Road in White County, Tennessee, named after her late husband's family. JFG Coffee, a coffee place. One of the original owners is James Franklin Godson. His profile from the Hennessy family website because he does not have a profile on WikiTree yet.
Have to fix that.
So I guess you have to make a profile for him, Janine.
Yeah.
A lot of people have either roads or. Okay, this is a funny one. Rob Outram. He says there's a story that it was a famous Civil War general who first introduced ladies of the night into soldiers' camps. His name was Hooker, and they became known later as that. Well, I guess it's.
Really?
I don't know. It probably is one of those tales that get told and passed down.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So we have an Irving Street in Burbank, California, named after Carol Weldon's grandfather. A street in Canberra, Australia, was named after Lynn Weston's mother's niece. She was a I don't know if I'm going to say this right, vaudeville artist
Vaudeville, yeah.
in the 20s. And later her stage name was Amy Rochelle, and the street was named Rochelle Street. What is a vaudeville artist? Vaudeville?
So, yeah, vaudeville. Yeah. I don't
Vaudeville.
think you pronounce that middle E, vaudeville, but it's a type of entertainment that used to be very popular before television came along. Basically, it'd be live entertainment, often slapstick. So, in fact, one of our profiles of the week is George Burns. So he and his wife Gracie were a very famous vaudeville act. So it'd be like
you had some prior knowledge because of the profiles of the week. How funny that time.
I know, it ties in so nicely. Yeah. So yeah, it's a comedy. It's basically a comedy routine. There's often slapstick. Sometimes there's music involved and whatnot. And yeah, you
That's
go to a
pretty
theater
cool.
to watch
I
it.
guess I was thinking, I was like, what kind of, because I was thinking, since an artist, I was thinking like some kind of like Baroque or Renaissance kind of artist kind of thing. But I was wrong. So apparently they're Glen Leggy. So Leggy's Mount in the Tower of London and Dartmouth College. The Dartmouth family name is, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Can you? Leg
Dartmouth,
or
yeah.
Leggy?
There's Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, so I think that's how you pronounce it.
Okay. So Ed Malicote, he said he found 5 streets in the continental U.S. that bear the Malicote name. Has anybody else just searched their last name and see how many things are named after your last name? It's probably a good, a good thing to just know and see if it's related in any way.
Yeah.
My great grandfather, yes, he helped build a whole bunch of VA hospitals around the U.S. So I think by each one he helped build, probably like 2 or 3, there's a street named after him in some way. So either like B.J. Lewis or Lewis Street or something. Which is kind of funny.
That's neat.
Okay, let's look through a few more.
So Janine, we remember we were telling Janine that she had to create that profile for her. She says she's got the connection on Family Search, but she's not sure it's right. So she's being smart and making sure that she's got all the facts right before she adds the profile on WikiTree. So.
Okay, well, we can at least add the unconnected profile and go from there and maybe ask on G2G for help. Who knows?
Oh, there we go.
Chris says Fair Yellow is a priestly garment.
Oh.
He's Iron Man.
He's Iron Man, yes. It means iron worker, yes. Ferrous meaning iron, yes.
So Mike Jonas says there's a prison named after his 4th great-grandfather, Thomas Butterworth Bailey, the New Bailey in Manchester, UK, erected in 1787. So, and then also Taylor's theorem and the Taylor series in mathematics. Many years after his death, the work of my 6th great-grandfather, Brooke Taylor, was recognized as the main foundation of differential calculus.
I know the Taylor series. Yeah, I studied that. No way.
I mean, Greg, you're a math fan, I would assume so.
That's very cool. Oh, who is that?
Cool.
Is that someone from their chat or?
No. Mike Jonas, where are you? And apparently also has a crater on the moon. Taylor.
Wow.
I wonder how many are all the craters named on the moon? This one's Taylor.
There's so many of them.
Maybe people are just looking up in a telescope. Look, Taylor, there's that crater. Oh, look, Florida. Oh my gosh, I'm Alice Battles. That's me. I'm in Tallahassee. There is a Brevard Street. Yep.
Oh.
Brevard County, Brevard Street in Tallahassee. That's cool. And let me pick one more.
Okay, so you know how it's dangerous to come in partway through a conversation? What do you suppose this comment was referring to? Like, where did the Chris Whitton's cousin's leg? Huh?
I guess I don't know, just leg.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna read this
I don't
one.
know.
Robert Farley says his grandfather William Hale struck up a friendship with the developer and had a street named after him in Belmar, Nassau County, New York. Hale Place. Oh look, Brian Spur has Mount Spur in Alaska. I like the very odd, like Antarctica, and there's a crater on the moon.
Yeah, that's neat.
That's fun stuff.
So Lisa looks like Lisa has clarified. Talking about a family, not a body part. That's much more acceptable.
Yeah. Do you have any things named after your family, Greg? Or not that?
Well, not that I know directly. Well, actually, my adopted mother's maiden name was McIsaac, and there is a McIsaac Drive in Aurelia where we live because of one of her relatives, her great uncles, was a builder and built houses and stuff, and was actually there was two McIsaacs that were mayors of Aurelia at one point, so sort of related that way. And when we went for a family trip when the kids were young to Newfoundland in our motorhome, we stopped by one place called Clark Harbor, and we all had to get out and get a picture taken by the town sign. Because they even, I think they spelled it right, even with the E at the end. Because often people spell Clark without the E, which my family thinks is the wrong way of spelling, of course.
No, your last name just looks fancy. There's an extra E.
Just an E.
It's like the pinky up, a little extra E that you don't pronounce, but it's there.
That's right. Yes. So, anyways, that's.
I think also, Meg. I think saying it leggy is more fun than just saying leg.
Yes, that's
leggy
true.
Family is more fun to say.
The leggy family, yes. Especially if they're tall and thin, right? They're leggy.
Probably.
I don't know.
So I guess we can. The profiles of the week. What is the theme?
The theme this week is centenarians. So people who have lived to be 100 years old or more. So
and if anybody has any centenarians in their family, let us know. Any relatives? Greg and I were talking about that before we went live.
Yes. So in my family, my grandma Clarke lived to. She passed away. She was born in 1893, October of 1893, and she passed away November of 1992. So she was in her 100th year. So not technically a centenarian. She didn't celebrate her 100th birthday, but she was in her 100th year. So I think that's pretty close. So
that's close enough that it should count.
Yeah. So there you go. So which centenarians are you most closely related to? And I did look, but I don't have Mags here to remind me. So I'll have to look again.
I can be the reminder today.
You'll be the reminder of who. There's one that I'm only 19 steps away from, I think.
Let's see. I was looking at mine. So I think my closest is 20 degrees from Richard Overton. That's my closest. Let's look at Greg.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's look at Greg's
chat.
Scroll.
Yes.
Marjorie Robb. Is that the Titanic one?
Yes, it is. Yes, now I do remember reading that. Yes. Yeah. And we're also, I checked, we're not only close connections, but we're cousins, like 23rd cousins 4 times removed or something.
You got that exactly, Greg. It is 23rd cousins 4 times removed.
So we're like this. Right But anyways, so going through them, the first one on the list, Israel Berlin, actually more commonly known as Irving Berlin, son of Moshe Berlin and Lena Lipkin, born in on the 11th of May, 1888. And I can't read that, so let me go down to where it says he was born in the Russian Empire, in Tolochin in Byelorussia. So that's Cyrillic script up here in the location field. And he was a preeminent American composer, lyricist, popular music, considered to be one of the greatest songwriters in history. He certainly did lots of tunes that are still used today and popular today. His Jewish family emigrated to the United States in 1893. Oh, just when my grandmother was born, settling in the city of New York. He wrote for Broadway and Hollywood, popular melodies like Blue Skies, do do do, nothing but blue skies do I want. Like White Christmas, I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas, God Bless America, as well as scores for movies like Annie, Get Your Gun. So like lots of stuff that's popular was written by this guy. He also co-founded ASCAP, which is the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers, and built his own theater. So he actually had lots of effect, and he died in his sleep at his home in New York City at the age of 101. That's how I want to go, just off in the sleep.
Peaceful into the night.
Peaceful into the night, yes. There's a really bad joke. I don't know if I should even say it. It's just so sad. About someone's. Okay, this is a joke that
would say it.
What one of my coworkers used to say. When I die, I want to go peacefully in my sleep, like my grandfather, not screaming in terror like the people in the car with him.
Oh no!
I know, isn't that horrible? That's horrible.
It is horrible. But
yes,
sometimes gotta make light sometimes of things.
I apologize if that's too close. Sorry. Let's move on to some comedy.
Meg says one of her great grandfathers died at 114.
Wow, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Nathan Birnbaum, more commonly known as George Burns, a vaudeville actor, was born in 1896, 20th of January in New York City. Husband of Gracie Allen, and they married in 1926. He's been given 3 stars on the Walk of Fame, the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He won the Best Actor for supporting role in Best Motion Picture Actor musical comedy Golden Globe for his role as Al Lewis in The Sunshine Boys in 1976, which is apparently he had a long hiatus in his film career, so this was sort of the beginning of his comeback again. And then the next year, in 1977, he won a Saturn Award for his portrayal of God in the Oh God movie. Yes. Oh God 2, and yeah, I love those movies. That's right. But I think
I've never seen those.
You remember them?
I've never seen them.
You've never seen them? Oh, no. Oh, you've got to see them. They're funny. They're cute. They're sweet. I think in the first one, I think it's John Denver is the mortal that he sort of comes to help, and he shows
it says
up.
John Denver. Yeah.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just doing this from memory. And, he shows up and says he's God. And of course, John Denver doesn't believe him because, who would, right? But anyways, but I think it's funny that the award is called the Saturn Award because Saturn, is a Greek god, a Roman god. And he got a portrayal for playing God. Anyways, what's really neat is in this profile, someone has included an obituary, which was really a really nicely well-written obit and talks about his life and his time in vaudeville with Gracie, his wife and love, and it's really quite nice. So I recommend reading that.
Next, Chris we have Susanna. Says that those Oh God movies which I was thinking about anyway, inspired Bruce Almighty. It made me think of that. That, oh God, when you were describing it, it made me think of Bruce Almighty.
Yes, yes, sort of similar idea, yes. But I think George Burns did it better. But and the next centenarian is Susanna Ragnar's daughter Ostberg. She was born on April 1st, 1920 in Klara, Stockholm, Sverige, Sweden. She died at the age of 100 years and 3 days. So just made it in the category. She was a dancer, an actor, and a singer. She was born in the Klara parish to the architect Ragnar Ostberg and his wife Karen. At the time of the census, she was still living with her parents, and she was registered as a theater artist. And she became she married the entertainer, 2 children, and she died on April 4th, 2020. And there's a picture over there. Next, we have Paul Gordon Royal, born in Perth, Western Australia, on the 17th of January, 1914, son of Gordon Royal and May Ruby Healy. He was a flight lieutenant, was an Australian Royal Air Force pilot who was one of the last 2 survivors of the 76 men who were able to escape from the Stalag Luft 3 German prisoner of war camp in the Second World War, what was known as the Great Escape. You know, there's a movie. You know, there was a movie about that and a book written. So he was the second last survivor at the time of his death when he was 101 years age, 2015. So 76 men escaped, and he was one of those. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Next, we have Guy Robert Pierre Philippe LouisDreyfus. I can't see here how he's related to Julia LouisDreyfus, but you got to think that last name is pretty unique. So I'm wondering. So he was born in 1908, possibly a grandfather. I don't know. The biography doesn't mention Julia at all. So I could be totally wrong. I could be just making that up, but it just seems.
It's a good assumption.
It's a good assumption. Maybe someone in our chat can do some digging and let us know.
Yeah.
Anyways, Pierre LouisDreyfus was a French-born resistance fighter, and during the World War II, and he later served as CEO of the Louis-Dreyfus Company. En français, I could read the whole thing, but I'm not going to bore you with that. But it does give you a little more information, including LouisDreyfus a participé à 11 reprises aux 24 heures du Mans entre 1931 et 1955. So reprise, I thought that was a strike. He participated in 11 strikes, 24-hour strikes, 24-hour hungers. And the pseudonym he used was Helde, which is basically how you pronounce LD in French, LD. So that's kind of a cute pseudonym to use.
Yeah, Susan said, is there a relationship of
the Dreyfus affair?
Dreyfus and the Dreyfus affair? And then Lisa says Pierre was Julie's grandfather.
I guessed right. Nice. Well, that makes sense. Now you should. I wonder, could we add that? We could add that fact to the profile, even though Julia is still living. That's not. We're not giving out any extra special information. If that's true, I think that'd be a cool thing to add to that profile. Moving on, Marjorie Ann Newell Robb, born the 12th of February, 1889 in Lexington, Middlesex, Massachusetts, United States. I started reading, I was ready to say Kentucky, but I'm glad I read instead of just assumed after I said Lexington. Because obviously, there's multiple cities with the same name in different states. So, she died on the 11th of June, 1992, at the age of 103. She was the daughter of Arthur Webster and Mary Emma Greeley. And this is she was the passenger that we referred to earlier. So the one, she's my closest. She was a passenger aboard the Titanic when it sank and survived, obviously. She'd been returning from a trip to the Middle East with her father and her sister Madeline. Marjorie was the last surviving first-class passenger from the Titanic, and one of the last two survivors who were adults at the time of the disaster. The other being Ellen Shine, who obviously outlived her.
They both could have fit on that plank, Greg.
What's that? They could have fit on the plank, yes. Well, her sister did survive, but her father did not.
Mm-hmm.
So he was probably one of the ones who obeyed the suggestion that women and children first, and he stayed behind, I suspect.
Aaron's pretty close to Marjorie. 8th cousins, 2 times removed.
Wow, that's way closer. That's 3 times closer than I am. Way to go, Aaron. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. And look at those pearls. I wonder if maybe she was the inspiration for the movie.
Oh.
You know,
probably there,
because that's 25 years ago this year. Now that movie came out.
Yeah.
With Celine Dion.
Yeah, I was like, wow. I think it's on Netflix right now. Titanic.
Oh yeah.
I think so. So if anybody wants to watch it is like a 3-4 hour movie. So if you haven't seen it, I'm sure everybody's seen it. But remember that it was a 2 VHS tape kind of ordeal.
Oh, was it? Oh yeah.
I think so. I think it was on 2 VHS.
Wow.
2 VHS tapes.
I mean, it was only one trip across the Atlantic. You know, it wasn't like you're going back and forth, back and forth. Next, we have Anna Julia or Annie Cooper, formerly Haywood. So she was an American author, educator, sociologist, speaker, Black liberation activist, and one of the most prominent African-American scholars in United States history. She is noted as the first African-American female superintendent of the DC colored school system. So very impressive. So there's a nice picture of her right there. So she was the daughter, she was born an enslaved person on August 10th, 1858 in Raleigh, North Carolina, daughter of Hannah Stanley Haywood. She and her mother were held in bondage by George Washington Haywood. Either George or his brother, Dr. Fabius Haywood, were probably her father, but the paternity is undetermined. And says, no, I'm up here in the profile too. She was recorded. She became a teacher. Okay, so she got a scholarship when she was 9 years old, and then became a teacher. She taught classics, modern history, higher English, vocal and instrumental music, instructor in classics and rhetoric. Entered Oberlin College, where graduating in '84, earned an MA in mathematics. Very impressive. Making her one of the first 2 Black women to earn a master's degree. She formed along with some others, she formed the Colored Women's League in Washington, D.C., and began teaching Latin at the M Street High School, and then becoming principal in 1901. So a very accomplished person. An author, delivered papers, trip to Europe, doctoral degree, 4th Black woman in American history to ever earn a Doctor of Philosophy degree. So a lot of firsts. So very impressive. Died at the age of 104 in 1964.
Impressive.
Very, very impressive. Yeah.
John just said hi. He's out shopping.
Hi, John.
John Tyner.
He's in the car on the way home. I hope he's not driving. If he's sending us texts or sending us messages, but nice to see you, John. Oh, it's a car race. Reprise.
24 hours of Le Mans.
Okay. And that was the previous car. LouisDreyfus. Okay, so here we're on to Olivia de Havilland, an actress. who also has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, silver screen legend, a two-time Oscar winner, born on the 1st of July, 1916. That's Canada Day, 1916. Her British parents were Lillian Roos, a former actress, and Walter de Havilland, who was an English professor and a patent attorney. Her sister is equally illustrious and is known as Joan Fontaine. She participated in the school play A Midsummer's Night Dream and was spotted by Max Reinhardt, who was so impressed that he picked her up for a stage version and later Warner Brothers film version. And then if you go to the IMDb, it lists all the things that she's done. So she had a long and varied career. 38, 39. Gone with the Wind, she was in that. She wasn't the lead role, but she had another important role in it. She was Maid Marian in The Adventures of Robin Hood. Snake Pit was also a big mystery film, horror mystery. William the Heiress. So lots of stuff, and this list just goes on and on and on and on. So
on and on and on and on and on.
On and on and on. She did lots of stuff, and she lived to be 104 and died in Paris.
I guess her parents just happened to be in Japan when she was born.
Oh yeah, look at that. In Tokyo, Japan. She was born in on Canada.
Were her parents actors too?
Or the mother was, I think.
Okay.
Her mother was a former actress. Her father was an English professor and patent attorney. British.
Okay.
That's neat. I don't know. I read the date and I stopped. I didn't read the location. That is very cool. Well, thank you for pointing that out. Okay, Nicholas George Winton, formerly Wertheim. Despite mortal risk, Nicholas Wertheim Winton helped persecuted persons during the Holocaust. In 1938, Hitler insisted that the German sections of Czechoslovakia be returned to Germany after several failed attempts. Great Britain and Italy met with, in order to keep Hitler appeased and to avoid immediate war, the Munich Agreement was reached. Okay, and what does this have to... So into this panic and desperation, so this is all lead up to enter Nicholas Winton, young stockbroker, went on vacation, but he would save the life of almost 669. He and a friend were helping out in the refugee camps, and they would save 10,000 children.
Kinder transport.
Kinder transport was being arranged. Nice, children's transport, yeah. So he helped get people out to safety. Neat. This is a very, very thorough profile. So I'm not going to go through and read more of it, but lots of honors for obviously the work that he did. Nominated for Nobel Peace Prize even.
He got the Order of the British Empire, I think, and he was knighted.
Sir Nicholas Winton, yes. And he passed away at the age of 106. Wow. Very impressive. Okay.
Good luck.
Oh no. So initially on the page that announced the centenarians, his name was written in only Chinese characters, so I had no idea how I was going to deal with it. But now they've Romanized it here.
So it's appropriate because since he Romanized the Mandarin written
language. I know. How appropriate is that? He's the developer of the Romanized version of Mandarin, so they had to Romanize his name here. So in here, it's written out as Zhu Yungang. I hope that's close. Zhu Yungang, I think. On the profile, appropriately, it does use his native. I presume that he would write in Mandarin script natively, but they use a slightly different. There's Zhu or Chu, Yao Ping, Yao Gang. So it looks like there's different different spellings or different romanizations of it. Chu Yao Ping. So I apologize for those who know how to properly pronounce this man's name, but I'm doing the best I can. Born in Chengdu, in the Jiangsu province of China. Husband of someone. And he died on the 13th of January 2017 in Beijing at the age of 111. Wow. Yao Ping was born in 1906. He passed away in 2017.
111.
Yeah, 111. Yeah. As a Chinese economist, banker, linguist, sinologist, that means study of China, publisher, and super centenarian, because I think a super centenary is one who's into the 110s, I think. Known as the father of Pinyin, which is a system for writing of Mandarin Chinese in Roman script, or Romanization, which was officially adopted by the government of the People's Republic of China in 1958 and the International Organization for Standardization in 1982, and then in 86 by the United Nations. Chu Yugang. There we have
Very
it.
cool.
Yeah. And then the last one on the list is Richard Overton. Richard Irving Overton, born on the 11th of May in County, Texas, in Bastrop County, Texas, United States. Son of Gentry Overton and Elizabeth Franklin Waters. And he died on 2 days after Christmas, 2018, at the age of 112. Another super. Another super guy in Austin, Travis, Texas, United States. He was an American supercentenarian who lived to be 112 years, 231 days. Wow. He was 2/3 of the way there to being, another year. He was the oldest verified surviving U.S. World War II veteran and the oldest man in the United States. Wow. Cool. He served in the United States Army during World War II. And in 2013, he was honored by President Barack Obama. He resided in Austin, Texas until his death. Wow. Descended from slaves, toiled in the plantation. And they moved from Tennessee to Texas, his ancestors. Enlisted in the Army in 1942. Very cool. So there you have the centenarians. And in my family, I have my grandma Clarke. Did I say this already?
I think you said it at the beginning.
I said it at the beginning. Yeah. So she was in her 100th year. So she was still was in her 100th year. Passed away.
Yeah. My grandma almost got to 99. She almost got to 99. Yeah. I guess.
Cool. So now I do have something to show about my latest app, but I'll do that after you do the photos. Okay.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. Here's some updates on the. Okay, let's look at photos. My favorite. Hold on. I wasn't 100% prepared. Hold on. I didn't have it open.
You thought I was going to go straight into the app and then do the photos at the end, but then
I thought so.
There's no guarantee I'd leave you enough time. When I start talking about my apps, I just get carried away.
Well, this might be short. Okay, let me share my screen again. There's not many photos for this theme this week.
It's funny, eh? Sometimes there's lots, and then sometimes there's not as many.
Yeah. So the theme this week is family meeting. So we only have 7 images to look at.
Okay.
This is a wedding group at Ida Larner's marriage to John Evans. How cute is that? So she's not in a dress. She's in like a little dress suit kind of thing.
Yeah.
I know if it's in England, so I'm curious to see how the wedding fashion transformed in different countries and stuff. They're having a party. They're drinking just water, some wine. How would you pronounce that?
Yeah, the Skituat?
in Plymouth, Massachusetts.
Saskatchewan.
Just sitting out right by the edge of the water.
Huh.
A holiday reunion. Oh, look at the little boy. He's looking up at his brother.
Yeah.
Looking at what he's doing.
He's got little suspenders on. How cute.
Yeah, how cute.
Mm-hmm.
In Oakland, Michigan. Oh. This is Janine's photo.
Oh,
they're placed
nice.
in the gravestone on the grandparents' grave. Oh.
Wow.
Arthur McLean family. And look at the little kid in the car. He's looking, they're taking a photo and he's looking out. This is in Albany, Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably go to the G2G post. Oops, I went too far back.
Oh, no. There we go.
So this one, my mother looks on with resignation at her 5 siblings on the first day back to school. The truth is, this is the best photo ever taken of them together. My grandmother said they would never sit still.
Still, yes.
So you can tell that she's the...
So she's the oldest?
I guess so. Unless it's her, says at her 5 siblings.
Yeah, so...
And that was the last one. So let's look at the G2G post very quickly to see if there are any other photos we missed or any interesting stories attached.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this has a long.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a rare color photo of meeting between the Best and Miller families. Yes, in 1957, color photos were there, but not common.
Right. Yes, that makes sense.
1947 photo, 74. We saw this one.
I was going to say that looks like a 70s picture.
It does.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you. Oh, look, mother-in-law Henrietta meeting her first grandchild. Oh,
bless you.
Thank you. Okay, this one. Oh, this is Janine's. It says a photo of my son Braxton, my brother Mike, and my cousin Stanley, my niece Michelle in Toronto, Ohio, placing the gravestones for my grandparents. So it was a arranged meeting.
There was a Nice. I didn't realize there was a Toronto in Ohio. Like I only know of the Toronto in Ontario.
There's probably Toronto and a couple other places too.
Yeah, I guess so.
The wedding photo we saw. We didn't see this one.
No.
John Thompson always has good photos too. Kathy and I have family scattered across the globe, and if they did get together, meet and take photos, could find a suitable and identifiable one. While sidetracking on centenarians, of which my maternal grandmother and her 2 younger sisters are, so 3 in the same family.
Wow, good genes.
I discovered my great aunt Lily's husband's family photo and a wealth of information about them. So to say, a meeting of families, all under my nose. And he and Lily's husband, Walter Leonard McLean, standing behind on the right, a surgeon, later become a major in the Canadian Army during World War I.
Wow.
Very cool. It's a cool story.
Very cool. Yeah.
Oh, we didn't see this one either. Oh, look at this. I love when they do that.
I love when they do that.
Yeah.
When they
big gathering for my great.
I was going to say that's a neat way of doing it, sort of writing their names sideways on the silhouettes.
Mm-hmm.
I've often seen it where they number them and then you have a legend in the side.
Yeah.
But that's kind of cool because it's more direct.
I do like that. Mm-hmm. So this is a big gathering for Robb's great-great-grandparents' 50th anniversary. So everybody's coming together for a big 50th anniversary party.
Wow.
And we
Very,
saw
very
this
cool.
one, a photobombing youngster. And that's
In
it.
the car. I didn't see the car, the little
Oh.
guy in the car before. Photobombing.
And that is all the photos for today.
Cool.
That was good. We got some good photos, a couple good stories with that. So
That's very, very
now
cool.
Greg to his updates for his app.
Yes. So I'm going to. Oh, wait a second. Where'd it go? Oh, did they get rid of? No, I have to still go on. I'm looking for the banner that we created, or did they did they get rid of the banners from before?
Yep, it looks like. Yeah.
Remember, we made a banner for the 6 Degrees app.
Yep, it looks like they did a revamp on the banners.
They did a revamp. Okay. Well, I just put in the chat the URL to it. So hopefully that will load up properly. And someone can verify whether the URL went through, because sometimes when you put it in the chat, it doesn't come through. So if someone who's live,
can see it in the chat on YouTube.
They can? Okay. So it'll take you to the beta version of the 6 Degrees app. So the beta version, yes. So I'm adding some new features to it, and I just wanted to show you a couple of them, partly because I want some help in testing it. So when you get to it, I'm just going to, I've preloaded it with one of my great-great-grandfathers. It works. Thanks, Debbie. So when you go to it, up until now, the live version only has this type of display where you have all of your connections in a ring, and they're color coded based on the degrees. So if you increase the degrees, you get more and more, right? And the first time I did it, I only had the colored dots, and then I added the ability to put in the first initials or their first letter of their first name, or their initials, or even their full first name. And one of the suggestions that was given, and I think this was Tommy Buck actually who suggested this, was it'd be nice if you could actually color in some of those. So if we go back to that, I've now given 3 choices for how text could look. So if I choose that middle one, then you get solid colors. So it looks kind of it's more like a string of pearls, as one of my reviewers called it. So that looks
the
kind of
Titanic cool. Pearls.
The Titanic pearls, yes. And so that works for any of those. And I've added a new feature, and I'm going to reduce the number of degrees because this can get overwhelming. If you choose, instead of just your first name, if you choose all, it's going to give you a bubble with their full name and their birth and their death date.
Very cool.
So that's kind of cool. And just like before, if you click on any of them, a little thing will pop up, which will give you the full details of where they were born and died, if they have names or dates and places attached, and a little diagram of how they were connected. So
why are some of them gray, Greg? Like in the blue, there's a couple of gray, the colors.
Yes. So the gray ones are the ones who are either the parents or the ancestors. So Charles Marcoux is the great-grandfather of Joseph Achille Marcoux, who's the main guy here. So I did that. So in that great big sea of all those colors, if you wanted to pinpoint the ones who are your direct ancestors, that was a way to visually make them stand out. Because the one thing about this type of display is it gives you sort of a general sense of numbers and how many at each connection. but it doesn't show how people are interconnected and whatnot. So if you're trying to find someone specifically, that's why that's partly because of why I did that coloring. Okay. But that leads into the other new feature that I've added besides. So this was a new feature, is the coloring of the names and giving the full information. But the other thing that I added was changing, instead of having a ring view of all connections, I've actually built a tree view. So if I click on that, there you can see, ooh, you can see basically your giant family tree, and you can control the number of ancestor generations you have. So if you just want one level of ancestors, so that would be, so this guy, this is Achille, the main, Joseph Achille is the primary person. So his parents, so that's 1 degree. If you want his grandparents, then you would choose 2 degrees. So there's his grandparents as well. Maybe I'll put in first names, but that makes it really wide because he's got such a big family. These big French Canadian families, they don't fit on one screen.
All the way over.
Yes. Oh, we got a nice yellow dot there. That's fun.
Everybody likes the tree. Everybody likes the tree feature, Greg.
Oh, good. Well, that's what I want people to do some tire kicking. And then if you wanted to go down and add more degrees of descendants, you can do that way. So you can customize, you can get a family tree chart. You can really customize how you want it to look. And if you go for all of the information, then you've basically got a really nice chart that you could use for family reunions and whatnot. Thank you, Jelaine. I hope they're useful. They're fun. If they're nothing else, they should be fun, but I'm glad they're useful as well.
I think also adding that tree feature, while the circles were cool, like a cool visual aid, the tree feature also gives them a new way to look at it too. So
exactly, yeah. And that's just it. So to see how everything fits. And the other thing is, like, let me go back to just the dots. It's a little more obvious if there are holes, right, in your tree. Like if you've got, like, so up here, I don't have anything. These families, okay, so this person has 8 children, a couple children here, like look at this massive. But these uncles, great uncles and aunts, we don't know anything about them. So either they died young, or they stayed signal, or it's someone else we need to investigate and then fill out those holes in the family trees. It's kind of a neat thing. But what I need people to test is to try it with your own and let me know if there are things if there are people that are missing, if my app does not cover all the circumstances. I've tried to come up with, multiple scenarios where one of your ancestors married multiple times, to visually represent that properly. And if someone has one parent but not a second parent, how that is represented. So I need special cases tested out and whatnot. So if you test this out and you find that there's something that's not working right, then I would appreciate you to go, if you contacted the author and just sent me a message. Just click on the contact author and just send me a message there. Or if you're on Discord, you can just send me a message via the Discord channel, in the WikiTree, and that would be great. Some people have, I have made a post to this about this on G2G, and actually it's in the help menu. G2G post 2 talks about beta testers wanted. So you can read that and all the details. There are some things. There's some things with the menus that aren't working properly, and I know that those aren't. Right now, what I really need to test, because those things I know I have to work on, but I know what's wrong with those. What I don't know and what I can't test myself, because my family doesn't have all the different combinations and permutations of, how strange some families can be interwoven and whatnot. So I need lots of people to test it so that they can find all those really strange coincidences that come up weird looking on family tree charts. So that's something that I can't test without lots of people trying it out. So those are things that I really need to know. So if your family doesn't look quite right, then please let me know. If you can take screenshots and share those, that's really helpful. Does it handle first cousins marrying? That's an excellent point. And that is, I have fixed a number of the ones that people have reported already. That one I don't know. I'm going to have to go back and double check that. But if you have an example of a profile that I can use to test that would be super, Susan. If you could, super Susan.
Super Susan.
Yes. If you can share with me a profile that I can test that scenario with, that would be great. Okay.
Well, unless this is super cool, Greg.
Oh, you like it?
Yeah. Because I don't think there's any other thing on WikiTree that shows all the connections like that. At least not off the top of my head. Because you get the basic family chart, but not with everything. So
not with everything. See, so this is one of the things I've wanted for a while. So when I did the connections, the 6 degrees, I thought, well, I've got all the names there, and I know how they're connected. Brothers, sisters, whatever. So it just seemed the natural next thing. One of the things I will mention is this third option there, which is basically black and white. I put that there because if you were going to use this as a printout, then it's probably easier to just do a printout on black and white. If you're going to make
you need a very long piece of paper, but
Yes, but if you go to save it as a PDF, it'll save. Look at that! There it is.
Ta-da! And oh man! I'm glad I work at a place that I can print on a very large piece of paper.
Well, yeah. So you would need to have it but for a family reunion or something like that, once I get this perfected and I know that it actually works properly, I think this would be kind of a really useful tool to have.
And then I can just see somebody using that as a sign-in chart for the family reunion and signing their name.
Yeah. How cool would that be?
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Wow.
Okay. Well.
Okay.
We are a little bit over, but unless there was anything else to show, Greg, or if anybody had any questions, we'll probably skedaddle for today.
Okay. So that PDF is 13,992 pixels across.
Huh.
That's a lot.
I don't know what that. Wide. Yeah, it is pretty wide.
Anyways, I'll stop geeking out now, and that's it for me.
Well, Reven has a quick question or something. What's the distance? 2 persons living together with children but unmarried. I guess they would still be connected like they were married because they have a child together.
Yes, well, because on WikiTree they would. So the WikiTree connection, like Jean Poirier and Angélique, they're 1 degree apart. Because they're connected because of the partnership.
Because they have so I think it would work the same way connection-wise because they're still the parents, just they're not married.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And my chart would still connect them with an equal sign because their union created a child, whether or not it was a legally, officiated at or whatever. That doesn't. Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Thanks, Debbie.
I'll sign us off, guys. Until next time.
Thank you. Yeah.